The engines roar to life here at Syracuse. A most unusual situation in that we do not have the cars gridded on the track. The first 6 cars now pulling out, and then they will come out single file and form their rows of 2 on the racetrack as we get set for the Eckerd 200 in the year 2001.
Very important race, of course, from a lot of standpoints at a time that's so crucial to the life of our nation. You see Steve Botcher in the 31, 5-time winner Brett Hearn bringing the Budweiser machine out on the racetrack. Hearn with a good starting spot here today. He will start toward the front of this show, and he's in great position to try to add. He'll be inside the 3rd row. Everyone else buckled in, ready to do battle with the sun starting to shine now.
My good friend Roy Spade gave me a call. He's celebrating his 90th birthday. Reminded us that 90 years ago, Ralph De Palma won New York State Fair Championship, or 100-lapper, averaging 67.4 miles per hour. This year, 2001, they're going twice as fast on the pole as Tim McCready. Wow.
Great speeds, of course, part of the recipe for success here at Syracuse.
You just saw Bob McCready?
Yeah. Frankie Cabrera there on the FX1, ready to come out and do battle as well. And a host of other drivers getting ready to get down to it. So they've rolled away. Doug Logan, a couple of hours ago, I wouldn't have given you 10 cents for our chances of seeing this afternoon.
And I'll tell you, once again, it's the vision and it's the wherewithal and the organization of Dirt Motorsports President Glenn Donnelly that makes this happen. It's just absolutely fantastic. And the fans, I'll tell you, once they got a whiff of an engine turning over, they're in the stands and ready to go. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the 2001 Eckerd 200. And on the pole, first time on the pole out of Watertown, New York, Tim McCready. And outside his great friend, the M1, Tim Fuller.
2nd row, the Hurricane, Steve Payne, the defending Mr. Dirt champion, and Matt Shepard, his first time ever in a big block machine. There it is, the white 28 car.
On to row 3, and a 4-time Mr. Dirt champion, Brett Hearn, and outside the winner of 2 of the last 3 Eckerd 200s, including last year's Billy Decker.
4th row, the 901 of Jimmy Horton out of New Jersey, a 2-time winner of this race, and Ronnie Johnson, his first ever start for the Sweeteners Plus team in the 39.
On to row 5, and what a show Richie Tobias Jr. gave us a couple days earlier, and Alan Johnson with the colors of the red, white, and blue.
In the 6th row, Jeff Trombley from Altamont, New York, the Fonda Speedway big block champion, and Andy McKinney nearly won yesterday's Sunoco A+ 150, ran out of fuel on the final lap.
On row 7, the 115 of our 1999 winner, Kenny Tremont, and outside, Jerry Higby in the number 74.
The 8th row, Eddie Marshall out of Pound Ridge, New York, the Marshall Oil Machine, former Labor Day winner here at Syracuse. A.J. Romano in a T.O. Pro car, that's the 29.
Ron Smoker is in the 62R. He's 9th row inside, and outside the 114 of a Pennsylvania small block star, Craig Van Doren.
10th row is Doug Hoffman from Pennsylvania, won this race 5 years ago. And the 27J in his own car, Danny Johnson, the 97 champion.
On to row 11 is Jeff Strunk and Wade Hendrickson.
12th row, Steve Poirier from Quebec, and Vic Coffey, Super Dirt Series regular from Leicester, New York, in that 32, which is the Sweeteners Plus car.
Row 13, the number 20 of Matt Quinn, and outside from Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania, it's veteran Kenny Brightbill, who won this event in '88.
14th row, Steve Botcher from Lehighton, New Jersey. He's a Bridgeport Speedway regular, and Butch Tittle in the Z car out of Pennsylvania.
Row 15, Gary Tompkins and Barefoot Bob McCready, who took home the checkered flag in '86.
16th row, Frankie Cabrera, the FX1. Mike Parati from Elizabethtown, New York, former Frogtown Speedway champion.
As the cars move down the back straightaway, it's Tim Dwyer and Dave Axton in row 17.
The 18th row, Jimmy Chester in the 44, Brian Weaver in the 9R.
Jimmy Phelps and Robert Ranger make up row number 19.
And Pat Ward from Genio, New York in the 42P, Dave Murdoch in the 61.
There's row 21, and it's Chuck Bauer and Tom Sears Jr.
22nd row, Pete Bicknell, 5-time 358 champion here, and Jumpin' Jack Johnson in the 20.
Yes, there is a row 23 for the richest race on dirt. Bobby Barron makes it up along with Chris Schultz, who qualified in that Sterling Trucks of Syracuse shootout.
And the final 2 transfer spots from the shootout, Billy Whitaker's 1W, Dave Camara from Vermont in the 26.
And the starting field is on the Moody Mile, the 1 mile New York State Fairgrounds. And we are getting set to go racing. It's really exciting, and you can feel the electricity.
Sure can't feel it. The fans on their feet getting ready to go racing today, something we didn't think we'd see just a short time ago. Well, Doug, who do you like today? You've seen a bunch of these.
Well, you know, I always told my son never, ever, ever bet against Brett Hearn, but you know what? He's won 2 out of the last 3 years. I'm going to go with the number 91 of Billy Decker. How about you?
I like Jimmy Horton in this one. Hearn is certainly a guy to watch, but Horton starts toward the front today from New Jersey. He's won this race before. He's run a lot of long races. Certainly knows what you need to do here.
Mark Kenyon, who's your pick?
Aside from the fact that he's one of my best friends, I think he's one of the smartest drivers here. He knows how to win this race. He's done it before, and I think he'll do it again today.
Andy Fusco? Who did Andy Fusco pick? We'll get his pick a little bit later as the cars roar down the front straightaway. The green flag is out, and the Eckerd 200 is on. Smoothly into turn 1. Through turn 2 go our leaders, and down the back straightaway it is Tim McCready, our pole sitter, who leads the Eckerd 200.
And he jumps out to a substantial lead down the backstretch. Fuller falls into second. Payne moves to third in the 7X. Greg Van Doren on the outside down into 3 there, trying to gain some ground. There you see Decker in the 91. Andy Bichetti's 4 car out to complete lap number 1. There's Hearn. And McCready has just opened up 10 car lengths on the field.
Lap number 1 of 200 in the books here at the New York State Fairgrounds. Tim McCready is your leader, and everybody is on the throttle.
There's Payne in that yellow machine. Hearn is next in line in 4th. There's the 28 car, Matt Shepard. He's settled back into 6th. Alan Johnson back there in the 1 car. The 35 machine making a move, trying to get up toward the front. He's got Johnson all over him. Richie Tobias from Annville, Pennsylvania in that red 35.
Well, as you mentioned, Tim McCready is way out in front. What a pace he is setting.
Well, we've seen this before from McCready this season, Doug, on our 2 earlier telecasts.
Battle for position, as you saw Brett Hearn try to look inside. Steve Payne couldn't get the job done in turns 1 and 2, and now they're single file down the back straightaway.
Everyone's settling in now. You know you're going to probably need 2 pit stops. There may be a few teams here today will try to run this race on 1 stop. We don't examine. Look at this, Bob McCready heading behind the wall already in the 9 car. Wow.
We'll try to get some information on Bob McCready, who is already in the pits. We are 3 laps in. Meanwhile, there is his son, Tim McCready, who's so quick to praise his own father, along with Billy Decker, for helping him get that race set up and tackle this Moody Mile.
A Barefoot Bob won a major 358 series race at Brewerton just a couple of nights ago, but his luck in the big blocks just has not been good at all. He blew an engine earlier this week. They repaired it, but obviously more mechanical problems. Syracuse frame number 9.
And of course, Bob McCready has battled some health problems the last couple of years, and well, he's apparently retired for the day. Brett Hearn, the number 3, trying to gain some ground on Steve Payne, can't quite get it done.
Payne with a brand new machine here this week, a TO Pro car, the Bobby Hearn's creations. Brett in the 3 right behind him, the red machine there sitting 4th. This is a big track car for the Hearn team. It's a car they've run here the last 3 years and only here at Syracuse, with a motor that's got nearly 700 miles of racing here at Syracuse on it. They freshened the engine this week. Tony File putting this motor together for Brett's team and saying, hey, it's ready to go and do battle here today for 200 miles.
This is the closest battle for position. We're looking at 2nd, 3rd, and 4th with Fuller, Payne, and Hearn, then followed by Billy Decker. The leader has opened up quite a margin. Tim McCready blowing away the field in the early going. We're 5 laps in.
3.1 seconds the lead last time by. Hearn all over Payne for 3rd spot, looking inside the 7X now. McCready's problem here has not been that he hasn't been fast enough in the past, Doug. It's been that he hasn't been able to make the car live. Billy Decker slowing down the front straightaway in the 91. Try to get a look at that machine, see what the problem might be. There's Tim Fuller. You're watching 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. McCready, Tim, is down the backstretch with a big lead.
It looks like Decker is back up to speed down the back straightaway. He might have just lost a little bit of traction, and you can lose some track position very quickly. There's a look at Danny Johnson in the number 27.
Danny with the American flag colors most appropriate on a day like this when the United States launched its retaliatory strikes against Afghanistan just a couple of hours ago. A couple of the teams deciding to go all red, white, and blue with their paint schemes. And this is Danny's own car, a Troyer House car. Billy Colton put it together for him after Danny split from the Sweeteners Plus team that he'd had so much success with just a couple of weeks ago, really, they decided to part ways. Danny won 23 of 50 358 series events with that team this year, but they hadn't won a race really since mid-August, and it was kind of a mutual parting of the ways. Danny said, hey, I'll put my own program together, see if we can have success here during Super Dirt Week.
Our leaders, Danny Johnson currently running 18th. Our leaders' advantage is shrinking. There's a look at the Budweiser number 3 of Brett Hearn. In front of him, the Hurricane Steve Payne.
A little further back, there's Richie Tobias in the 35 behind Jimmy Horton as they battle for 7th and 8th spot. Oh, and contact. Hearn in trouble on the backstretch. He tried to get around Steve Payne and clipped Payne, goes around into the wall. Hearn is against the wall in turn 3. Damage to that race car, and we expect to see the caution. The caution is being displayed for the first time here in the Eckerd 200. What a tough break for Hearn.
So the 5-time winner of this event, the corporate jet Brett Hearn, looks like he needs a hook. A major development early in this race. We're 25 laps in. This is the Eckerd 200, and we are live on Rush Hour.
Rush Hour, Super Dirt Week.